Waycross police officer accused in a viral confrontation is now facing charges. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says the officer and his child's grandmother were both arrested today following an incident outside a doctor's office. The GBI says 30-year-old Mark Horn, a Waycross police detective, and 51-year-old Kisha Music were both charged with simple battery. Investigators say the incident happened May 28th in front of a doctor's office while Horn was off duty. Music, who is the mother of Horn's ex-girlfriend and the grandmother of their child, previously told WSAV her and her daughter were assaulted during an argument about whether she was allowed to go inside with the child to the appointment. After the incident, Horn was placed on administrative leave, and the Waycross Police Department asked the GBI to take over the investigation. Now, nearly 6 weeks later, both Horn and Music have been booked into the Ware County Jail. The GBI says the investigation is still active, and once it's complete, the case will be turned over to the Ware County Solicitor's Office for review. Some new details tonight. Savannah police have made an arrest in a shooting that left one man injured earlier this week. Investigators say the suspect turned himself in just 1 day after officers served a warrant at a home in Port Wentworth. Police say 51-year-old Weldon Roberts surrendered at the Chatham County Detention Center yesterday in connection with a July 8th shooting on West 31st Street, where a man was shot in the leg. Roberts is charged with aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. Savannah police also confirming the large law enforcement presence in the Rice Creek neighborhood of Port Wentworth Wednesday night was connected to this case. Officers served a warrant at a home near Old Mill Road and Gooseneck Road as part of the investigation. Now, police say the investigation remains ongoing and anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. The family of a Savannah State baseball player detained by ICE is speaking out. They're sharing what happened the morning 22-year-old Johan Sandoval was taken into custody and why they believe he should be released. WSAV's Jillian Coles now with their story.
In Tiberio is Adriana Wade, Johan Sandoval's fiance's mother. She says the couple met while Sandoval was going to school in New York, and he's been a blessing to their family. Since he's transferred here to Savannah State University, he visits them every winter and summer, but this last trip was different.
I'm angry. I'm very, very angry.
On July 3rd, Lynn Tiberio says she was awakened suddenly when her future son-in-law, SSU student athlete Johan Sandoval, rushed in her home yelling that ICE agents were outside.
I asked Johan to wait outside on the back porch. Officer asked him, "Why were you outside?" He said, "I see the news. I see what happens, and I didn't want to get shot. I didn't want to get hurt."
Moments later, Tiberio says Sandoval was being put in handcuffs.
He looked me dead in my face, and he goes, "Lynn, I have never been in trouble. I have never been to jail. What am I supposed to do?"
An ICE spokesperson told WSAV Sandoval entered the country on a student visa in 2022, but that was terminated in April of 2025. John Jeha, Sandoval's attorney, says the error occurred when the baseball player transferred from Bryant and Stratton College in New York to SSU. Tiberio says they don't blame either school.
Human error happens. Just can we correct the problem? That's all we're looking to do, is to correct the problem, let this kid finish his last year of school.
Since then, Tiberio says Johan has been staying in a detention center hours away from the family in upstate New York. She says when he got there, he was sleeping on the floor, and she's disappointed in the immigration system.
He has no criminal record. He came here legally. He did everything to maintain his status, and yet he is being punished like he was some gang member that came from some country, and he's just running the streets doing all kinds of stuff, which is insane to me.
Tiberio says the family's main goal is to get Sandoval out on bond. The attorney tells WSAV he's filed a formal motion with immigration court to do just that. To read both schools' statement on the paperwork error, head to WSAV.com. Reporting in Savannah, Jillian Coles, WSAV News 3 on your side.
New tonight, McIntosh County leaders are taking the next step in rewriting the zoning ordinance for a hog hammock on Sapelo Island. Commissioner Roger Lotson says the board revised the proposed ordinance to allow homes in hog hammock to have a maximum of 1,550 square feet under roof. That's larger than the current 1,400 square foot limit, but far below the 3,000 square foot cap approved by county leaders in 2023. Voters later overturned that ordinance in a referendum, prompting county leaders to draft a new proposal. That earlier ordinance sparked opposition from many members of the historic Gullah Geechee community, who said larger homes could change the character of the island and increase property taxes. The revised ordinance has now been sent to the McIntosh County Zoning Board, which will hold a public hearing on August 4th before making a recommendation.